What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Kizer knives with a bonus little small box right here. We'll find out what this one's all about later in the video. But let's see. These are Kizer's new knives for December. I'm excited to get in here. We're going to go here on the left to right order, starting with this box right now. This one is the premium Bladesmith line, so you know this one's something special action for you. And we're looking at the Taicho, Taicho. That's my best pronunciation right there. It's an Azo design. Let's get a zoom in here. We got M390 blade with a matte DLC Ultra. I've been seeing that in a lot of their recent knives, so I really like that. Titanium and fat carbon handle with a clutch lock. So without further ado, let's get in here, shall we? Bada bing, bada boom. These are all linked down below in the description and pinned comments, so you guys can check out prices, availability, and variants. And it does help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. So without further ado, there's the knife. And for all of these, by the way, we are going to speed things up, right? All these boxes include some paperwork, a wiping cloth, additional hardware, and a sticker of some sort. So that's so good. And again, Kizer is always one of the most consistent brands, always including additional hardware. So I give them kudos for that. Well, here we go. Here we go. What is new for December, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, man. All right. Let's take a look. All right, Azo designs. So I like Azo designs. They're typically very clean, very minimalistic designs, right? If I had to kind of think of a terminology here, but oh man, this is looking very nice, guys. Let's get a closer look. So we have titanium on the handles here with the slightly raised, right? I can feel the inlays a little bit raised. We got the red, white, and blue carbon going on here. Carbon fiber, it looks like. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like fat carbon, but it might not be the actual brand. Future me double check. We have a sandwich construction with 2 standouts here, actually 3 standouts it looks like, and a little post pin right here for your lanyard solution. Deep pocket carry clip that is not reversible. I'm sure they wanted to preserve the pristine condition of the show side, but you know, making a reversible pocket clip is always the best bet, you know, making it lefty friendly there. It is going to be a clutch bar lock, aka crossbar lock. And we got 1 thumb stud, no thumb stud on the other side, which is an interesting call. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Severn from Winter Blade Co. Kind of took me some time to get adjusted to that, so no reverse flick happening on this one. But let's see, let's go ahead and get it deployed. Bam! All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. All right, first things first, obviously Azo is also the designer for the drop bear. So I'm getting a little bit of drop bear vibes a little bit, right? Very almost spear point, right? If I cover this much, right? Almost spear point looking drop point blade, right? Flat grind, almost a full flat grind all the way up there. 2 jimping zones right here, this one there and this one further up. So that's really good for more control, pinch grips like this and stuff like that. So you can put your thumb here, maybe get a little bit more control like this. Depending on the scenario, that jimping there comes handy at times. Checking the action. All right, let's see. Obviously, I'm getting a feel for it. Kind of breaking it in, if you would. Yeah, that's actually pretty smooth, as you would expect from any crossbar lock knife, aka clutch lock from Kizer. And I want to say I don't see, yeah, I see the ball bearings. You know, got ball bearings in there, although the action is very similar to that of washers. So I find that very interesting. Got the Kizer logo on this side, Azo Taicho or Tycho model, and M390 steel is what we have going on this one. I'll tell you, obviously, as you can imagine, the ergos are going to be really, really good. It's funny how the blade itself gives me drop bear vibes, and the handle itself gives me Trestle vibes, right? I find that very interesting there, if you know about those 2 models. But yes, of course, as you can imagine, the ergos on here are going to be really, really good. Also, plenty of handle. I have average size hands. If I get pretty close here to the blade, I can still got, you know, accommodate a 6 finger if I had one, plenty of room. If I do the hammer grip, there's plenty of space further up as well. I like the little jimping here on the titanium handles for extra grip. That feels nice. And this rounded portion here is also nice and comfortable as well. So really digging the whole package there for sure. So this one's looking good. Of course, there are going to be different variants for this one. You are going to have different inlays, different blade finishes. I think the first time, or one of the first times I saw the matte DLC was on the new Kizer Original 2. And that one looks really nice. I really like the, you know, not so shiny, but obviously you still get the DLC benefits, right? Diamond-like coating. But let's go ahead and check out the other knives. We got one down, a few more to go. Next we have the Aegis, right? Aegis. I'm sure you guys are probably giggling over there at my pronunciation. D2 blade, gray PVD coating and stonewash, G10 handle and thumb stud. So this is more of their budget, right? Everyday use knife with their, more affordable lineup. All right, here we go. All right, of course you got the standard package that we went over earlier in the unboxing experience, but let's find out what the Aegis is all about here. Okay, first impressions, we got a little bit of a medium size, so it's a little bit smaller here size-wise compared to this guy we just looked at. And these are some interesting names, I gotta tell you. What's interesting about this one, of course, we got the G10, we got the exposed liners, not one, not two, but it looks like 3 standoffs, right? One doesn't have the hardware, it's just there, so you got, very robust build for sure. Lanyard solution here, the pocket carry clip. This is reversible, of course, that's how it should be with the clutch lock, aka crossbar lock. So that's the way to go. And guess what? We have a nice little feature back here. We'll check that in a second. But first, let's check out the blade. Oh man, come on now. That is a nice, gorgeous looking drop point blade right there, if you ask me. The D2 has a nice little coat on there, which is good. A PVD coating on a D2 blade. Now that's the way to go there for corrosion resistance. Flat grind, beautiful switch here towards the front. Dual jimping zone as well. Happy to see that Kizer is really doing that on a lot of their models. Not really skimping here and there, so that is good, of course. Oh yeah, the action here is going to be super, super sweet. Check that out. Oh yeah, feels really good. Thumb stud deployment, of course, as you would expect. Reverse flick. All right, the whole shebang. All right, so that one's feeling pretty nice. Now we do have another version of this guy. This one's also D2 with the rose gold satin and stonewash finish, G10 handle and thumb stud. So let's go ahead and see this other variant. We do have multiple variants for this model here. That is good. So let's see what this one here is all about. All right, so yeah, definitely a different color combo on this one. I'm liking the black on black, so black G10 on blacked out liners here. Has this whole mortared out aesthetics, right? And again, the same features we already talked about with the reversible pocket clip. But check out the coating on this blade here. Now that looks really good, right? That's a nice combo there, kind of like a bronze, right? They call it rose gold, and that looks very nice, right? Still sort of like a stonewash finish to it in a way, with that flat grind. Now, I do have a little bit of a nitpick here, and I'm not entirely sure why they didn't do a better plunge grind situation here. If you can see what I'm talking about, it looks like when you start sharpening this knife, you are going to get a smile at some point. That's about the only thing I'm definitely going to nitpick at, right? Because again, eventually you are going to sharpen this knife, and that's just going to progress as a smile. I'm not sure why they didn't carry the edge all the way to the end here. That would have made a little bit more sense, I think. But aside from that, we do have a few other things up the sleeve here. Now, check out the 2 little tabs right here. We've seen this on a few other knives by now, but we have the very iconic pull toothpick, right? A little pokey toothpick tool that can be used for a variety of different tasks. Or you have on the opposite side here a pull tab for a pair of tweezers, right? You can just pick at, a splinter or something. Got your tweezers here for any specific tasks. That's again one of those things nice to have. Always good to have it and not need it, than need it and not have it. Of course, the other model also has it. Right? Told you guys we will be going over it. So I think we first saw this on the Drop Bear fixed blade, and then it made its way to the Drop Bear utility, and it has been making its way to many more and more of Kizer's knives, which is always a great thing, right? Of course, a good old clutch lock is the sauce right here. You have the ability to, as always, adjust the omega spring, how tight or how loose you want the experience to be. I really like how they come tuned out of the box. That always seems to work for me pretty well. The alignment there, smack in the middle, as you would expect on both models. And I believe there's maybe some other models available too. Again, guys, I'll have these all linked down below so you guys can check out prices, availability, and variants. But we are on a roll, and we're moving on to the next knife. Now, this one has an even more interesting name because C01C UT2, all right? Whatever that means. Sheepdog knives, so I'm thinking this one's going to be interesting here. With the 50 CR 15 MOV blade, could this be a utility knife? Is it? Is it not? We're about to find out. Big blasted G10 handle and button liner locks. So under 3 inches on the blade. So let's see what the what the C01C UT2 is all about. All right, if you're ready, I'm ready. Oh man, just what I was thinking. We're in for a treat, guys. All right. For starters, we have a whole set of utility blades right here. I'm sure this one includes the standard 10 blades or so. Oh, you got the arrows, Miguel, pointing this way, duh, right? So there we go. Probably, I want to say these are spring loaded, so we have about, let's see. Can we count in there? You guys can count with me. Sounds like a Dora the Explorer video. Guys, we're looking at 5 spare utility blades there. All right, so they are spring loaded, easy for you to go ahead and grab them. That is nice. A nice little storage solution here. And so 5 backup blades. And here is the utility knife. So what are we looking at? Man, oh man, guys, they took the Sheepdog and they turned it into a utility knife. How about that? Oh man, all right. So we have the good, very recognizable handle here, as you're used to. And we have a deep pocket carry clip that is reversible. That's always good. Guess what? We also have the features on this one with the nice pull tabs. We'll take a look at those in a second. And then we have, what is this, new for this model? I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys, or in the comments below. Has a Sheepdog ever had a button-operated liner lock before? I'm not sure, and I don't think that has been the case, but I could be wrong. And yes, this is indeed a button-operated liner lock. So that's, again, the better of the two. Better than a plunge lock button lock. So, oh yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So great action as you would expect with that button-operated liner lock. Here it is in action. Let me get you a 5x scientific zoom right there. Check that out. Oh man. Nice and easy to use. Things like spider code, compression lock, but with a button that makes it so much easier to engage and disengage. And of course, check out the blade here, right? So the blade looks somewhat familiar to the one that we saw on the utility drop bear. And that is because obviously utility blades are pretty standard nowadays, right? Here is the drop bear here for comparison. They look, you know, somewhat similar. You can tell this one has been a user. At some point, they were shipping Work Pro branded blades. Now they're doing the non-branded ones. Just a little bit of an observation. And I know that you had to do undo two T8 screws to be able to swap to a new blade, right? Had 2 screws there, 2 T8s on the drop bear. Utility, now it seems like this one has this new orange button here. So it looks like you can, let's see, again, I'm experiencing this one for the first time. Pull on it, okay, pull down on it, and then easily remove the blade that way. Absolutely, that's a much easier implementation. It will take me about, what, maybe 2 seconds to remove a blade and about 2 seconds to put a new blade in with this mechanism, whereas this one takes probably, you know, a good 30 seconds or so, a whole minute to do a whole swap, undoing and retightening up 2 TA screws. Now, I made a case for this one when I did the unboxing, right? The fact that it's a little bit more of a tedious task, it's going to prevent your co-workers at the job site from maybe stealing some blades from you, if this is the case. But with something like this, you know, again, that's a joke right there. But yeah, obviously this is going to be more convenient, right? Easier to use. So I'm going to go ahead and try to put this guy on here, right? Very carefully. Probably will help if I push down on the orange right there. That's going to help a little bit. I'm also going to use my index finger to offset right there. So obviously it's brand new. See, I got it in almost all the way. And then it's got to pull down and realign it a little bit better until it clicks in place. And now it is rock solid, not going anywhere. So I can tell you, man, this is going to be another one of my favorite utility blades, because for opening up packages, right, breaking down cardboard boxes, just the ergos on the drop bear have been amazing. The amount of jimping you have, just overall the comfort, right, the confidence you get cutting with this on trash day, breaking down boxes, along with the crossbar lock, was really smooth and a really good package. This one right here is also a very good recipe, right, to say the least. Also loving the jimping everywhere on the blade there, or at least the blade, what are we calling this, right? What are we calling this? The blade holder. I'm sure there's a fancier name for it. But the ergos are going to be really good. And wait, there is more, right? We have another variant of this guy. This one is, again, same steel on the utility blade, blasted finish on my micarta handle, and a button liner lock. So yeah, we did say these are button liner lock variants. Again, you get the same spare 5 or so utility blades there. And it looks like this one is on a different handle, right? That's probably the main difference between these two. Let's take a closer look. Now, Kizer absolutely knows how to do some high quality micarta here, which is what you would expect. Of course, we got the nice little sort of grooves on the Sheepdog, which you're used to. And I think this is somewhat maybe like the medium size, regular size Sheepdog. There's a Sheepdog XL. I think there's a mini Sheepdog, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you got the micarta here, right? Feels nice on hand. Really, they got you covered with what you prefer the most. G10 or micarta, they absolutely got you covered, whichever material is your preference. Check this out. They are actually doing something different with this one. All right, let's check out the action first. All right, action is good. Feels nice to deploy, right? Good old liner lock like we just looked at a second ago. But they have a different approach on this one, right? Maybe the little orange tab press down, right? Again, it's too quick for you, right? You could always get the 2 Phillip head. It looks like they give you 2 Phillip head screws on this particular one, right? So you can do those. There are screws that you can see come out the other side. So maybe that's a little bit easier for you on the job site. I mean, I would think this will be the faster approach. So it really depends what you prefer. Do you prefer something that's solid, gives you more peace of mind, that's not going anywhere? Neither is this one, by the way, but this one's a little bit faster, I would think. But again, they got you covered there with Phillips head as compared to the T8 on the utility drop bear like we looked at a second ago. So, you know, it's nice to see Kizer is just testing everything out. So if people are not like, well, you know, a Phillip head would have been better. Or wait a second, a tab would have been better. Well, guess what? They're giving you all the options. So you can really choose which one works out for you, you know, the best. So of course we got great ergos on here as you would expect. I mean, this is just as hand melting ergos as it gets. I like the little dip right here on the sort of utility blade holder. I'm just gonna call it that going forward. I'm sure there's a better there's a better name. I can't think of it right now. It's the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. You can also forward choke here, which is really good, right? Really good ergonomics with the ability to forward choke. You even have a little bit of extra protection right there from the utility blade as well. I gotta tell you, man, these things are workhorses when it comes to trash day, breaking down a whole lot of cardboard boxes. And then once it goes dull, you can also turn it around, use the other end a bit, and then just, you know, put on a new utility blade. So that's why utility blades have been doing really well recently, right? Just the fact that they are so versatile. Now we do have, again, I did mention we're going to go over these. We do have a bigger tab and a smaller tab. Now I find that the bigger tab here is a little bit easier to get at, and that's going to be your toothpick, right? Utility there. And then I find that the one on the other side, for some reason, there we go, it was a little bit more challenging to get at, but there you go. Those are your tweezers like we looked at earlier. So they are present on all these different models except the premium one, right? The premium one is not doing that, but all the affordable models on the budget end, right? This model right here, which we looked at, the Aegis, right? Because I can't think of a better pronunciation, and the new Sheepdog utility, right? All have that new feature as well. So I mean, you're getting actually a very comprehensive package here. I gotta tell you, really solid on every angle. It's really hard to fault this one, right? I was nitpicking a little bit about the plunge grind situation with this model, but whereas this one, right, there's really not a lot to nitpick at. What's interesting is they made the button a little bit bigger, but it's not a full circle, right? It's kind of like a half circle sort of approach. So that was an interesting take. I don't think I've seen any other company do something like that, but it just works, right? Really nice to get to. Good access, good cutout, right? For a thumb, well, the good size of a thumb there, right? And it's also recessed on the girth of the handle otherwise. So that looks really nice in all areas, right? Really solid knife here. Just a solid tool, right? Solid tool, because this is a workhorse. This is one that you're gonna not be afraid to cut, because again, you can just swap the blade whenever it goes dull and rinse and repeat, right? Every single time. So those are looking, again, pretty good, guys. We have, again, one last one here. This is just icing on the cake. This is a tiny box. I'm like, what did they send me here? So let's see what this tiny one is all about. And I had a feeling that's exactly what it was. Kizer has a new, very affordable pry bar. And I believe this one is in titanium. So I was thinking, how can they do a pry bar in titanium for around, I think this was like $30, $35 or so. This is called the Pac-Bar. And we got all kinds of things going on here. Right, for starter, you got your pry bar here in the front with a little cutout here for like pulling nails and stuff like that. We have a nice little can opener right here on the side as well. We have a somewhat of a ruler with millimeters on one side, and we have inches on the other side. Right, check that out. Got a little bit of a 90-degree protractor going on here in this corner. And then on the other side, we have JG10 on this one, which is one of many available different options for a handle on the other side. So that's a nice touch. Obviously, it adds grip to the other side. And let's not forget about the whole, bolt pattern right here. You could do different size bolts on there. You could also use this guy with any 1/2-inch bit driver that you may have. So that works well also. And then we have, of course, the good old, right, tweezers that we've been looking at. Right, so those slide in there. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of pry bars, really. And the toothpick, right, they all slide right here on each side. And then it looks like we have something going on back here. Future me double check what this is. Well, it's not a glass breaker, but it can be, there we go, it can be a flathead screwdriver in a pinch. So that works. Thinking of Phillips head somewhere, but maybe you can use the corner of the pry bar here as a Phillips head. But other than that, aside from that, it's a very nice, solid, also quality, right? Again, we got titanium here with the sort of stone wash finish. Pry bar for, again, $30-ish. That's actually looking pretty good, very nice. And it's just a nice little stuffer here for anybody gift-wise. If you're getting them a knife, right, you want something additional to throw in there. Well, Kizer's got you covered here with the Pac-Bar. Kind of like Pac-Man, but Pac-Bar, right? You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons really quick, right? So we started with this guy. Let's see if we can fit them all on the screen. That's going to be a little bit challenging, but we will try. All right, here we go. We got this guy called the Taicho or the Tycho, right? And then we got the Aegis. Aegis is going to be a little bit smaller. Check that out. And then, of course, we got the True Utility Drop Bear. I keep calling it drop bear. This is a Sheepdog, Miguel. Sheepdog. And again, the other model here with G10. So nice little lineup right there for December. Not to mention they drop a whole lot of Christmas knives, Christmas themed knives, but that's going to be a whole different video, of course, because this one is already too long. These are going to perform really good. These edges, factory edges, have always been top-notch, out of the box, great experience from Kizer. This video is already a bit too long, so we're going to go ahead and bypass our scientific cutting test, guys. But let me know your thoughts on these in the comments. What do you guys like about them? What do you love about them? Is there anything you dislike about them? Let me know. Let's hang out in the comment section down below. All feedback is welcome. And of course, these are all linked down below in the description and pinned comments. If you guys want to check out prices, availability, and variants, definitely check those links. Those do help out the channel at zero extra cost to you. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.